BJP has now asked some pointed questions of the Congress party, saying that it's not the centre that is shying away from a debate on its stand on China and what's happening at the border, because the Raksha Mantri has already given his statement. He has made it extremely clear. In fact, the Union Home Minister also clarified, we have not ceded an inch of land. But it is the Congress party that needs to answer. That's the charge coming in from the Union Home Minister.
I think the charge is quite valid and the charge needs to be answered, and we are keenly waiting to see what answer is given. I think it needs to be aired in Parliament. Why should things be done in a closet or behind a closed door? Things should be transparent, things should be open, and China is not a friendly country. I'm sorry. China is our primary security threat. So you have to be extremely careful before you touch China with a barge pole. I don't think I could get more explicit than that. And especially when the Chinese have this penchant for wielding their deep pockets, for trying to buy influence. I don't think any party in this country, any nationalist party, should open itself to such a charge. And now that the charges are out in the open, they are there in the open domain, I think the country needs answers.
Okay, all right. Major General, if you could also speak about, the area, because a lot of talk has been about how the NDA government has allowed easy access to China. In fact, this is the charge that is coming from the opposition time and again. You just heard Oaisi as well, who said that, the Prime Minister is scared to speak about China. He does not speak about China. China is aware that the Prime Minister would not speak on it, even if China overtakes land, because it may not be politically right for him in the country, and that comes as advantage to China. But, speaking with facts on the kind of work that has been put in along the border, the kind of infrastructure push that has been brought in over the last few years.
Look, I was in the Military Operations Directorate. I have served 2 tenures, and I know the way our defenses, our ramparts in the north were so severely neglected for decades. The initial thinking was that let's not build any infrastructure. The Chinese will use it. And we very humbly pointed out, like the Israeli statement, the road that leads from Damascus to Tel Aviv also leads from Tel Aviv to Damascus. So the road that leads from Leh to Lhasa also leads in the other direction, and vice versa. So you have to create, infrastructure so that you can counter the tremendous infrastructure creation the Chinese have done in Tibet. You forget roads. They build railway lines, broad gauge railway lines, standard gauge. It's not even broad gauge, it's more than our broad gauge. It's standard gauge railway line. 7 trains per day come to Lhasa. Each train means 1 battalion. 7 battalions a day can come to Lhasa. You see, they have built airfields. They have upgraded their existing roads to class 70, which means, tank transporters with tanks on tops can run on those roads at 40 to 50 kilometers an hour. So, instead of doing this infrastructure creation, people were kicking the football around, who will pay for it, who will pay for it. The country has to pay for it. How is it being done now? You will leave your borders undefended and then sign agreements? This is amazing. Party-to-party agreements. Will that save the country? Will that stop intrusions like this? We have been attacked once in 1962. We were humiliated in the international arena. Any self-respecting country will ensure that does not happen again. And we have taken very many, very concrete measures to see that it doesn't happen again. Okay. And if China thinks that, they can repeat 62, they are in for a shock. Rude shock. Okay. That is an army which hasn't fought for the last 42 years. They'll get a shock when they first see combat.
In fact, TIMS is the only channel that's also reporting from their Major General.